Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Heights to Disney. And as always, it's going to be a great time. Star of the show, Josiah is here. Say hello to your adoring fans.
No, I'm supposed to do this on first.
Oh, okay.
Can you go turn the light on real quick?
Yeah, okay.
Great. Well, welcome back to the Heights to Disney. And
I need it.
okay. And today we are joined by. Who's joining us today?
Me.
And
who else? Who else is on the screen?
Not wrong.
Matt and Mackenzie.
Matt and Mackenzie are joining us.
yay!
Hey.
I'm saying
All right.
I'm saying you now.
Okay, come here. All right, well, while we deal with this, Matt, why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
Okay, hi everyone. So my name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees. So I'm here from Teacup For One. I am an avid Disney fan, an enthusiastic Disney traveler, and I've been to Universal Studios once, and it was a day that made an impact. Absolutely. I'm also here representing Ravenclaw.
Oh, are you a head boy or you're a prefect?
I am. No, I'm a head boy.
Wow.
Yeah. Welcome to Luke in the comments saying, ugh, Matt is in this.
That's
Thanks,
kind
Luke. Appreciate it. We probably will not be talking about WandaVision,
Keep farming.
so you're good. That was the
No, he
last
likes
time.
WandaVision now.
Oh, okay.
of. He wandered into WandaVision. Stop, buddy.
He has joined.
Great. Mackenzie, why don't you tell everybody about you?
I'm Mackenzie, and I go places and film that. And I like camera stuff and photography and video. And I also am a Disney fan, but I also enjoy Harry Potter. And I feel like I've been to Universal many a time. So I'm ready.
That's awesome. So we're obviously the Heights, and we are
We do Disney.
we do Disney, but we now also do Universal because we are now annual pass holders at Universal.
What?
And so we have gone the amount of degrees that Matt has to Universal.
2.
And so we've gone twice, once with some friends, and then once just the family here, and we had a fantastic time, and we obviously go to Disney all the time. So I'm very excited to talk very high level of Disney versus Universal.
Yes.
So I'm going to let Mike take over for a minute here while I go and take care of another situation. Hello, Martha.
Martha is in the chat.
Martha's
The
here.
queen is
All right,
here.
say goodbye to everybody.
No, I don't want
He knows how fun this live stream is going to be.
Well, he's not wrong.
He's not
It's
wrong.
Put your foot down, bud.
All right, well, let's go get you settled.
Since you do Universal now, are you changing from Hudda to Hudda-you?
Maybe. Maybe it's gonna be a Huddud. Huddud. How to do Universal and Disney?
Oh, Huddud. Okay.
Huddud. Yeah.
It feels like that's a really long name.
You think? We're just every time we get a theme park, like we're just gonna add it on. Like we do have Legoland too. I guess we could do that.
Huddle-a-doo.
Huddle.
Forget Disney and Universal. Just do your Legoland only blogger.
No. Nope. We won't even talk about.
That is a niche that doesn't exist. You would totally dominate.
Yeah, I'm an annual pass holder for Legoland. I don't go around bragging about that.
Why not?
I mean, sometimes it's actually cheaper to buy the annual pass than it is to actually buy a one-day ticket, but that's besides the point.
I think that is the point, so that you buy the annual pass.
Yeah, but
I want you to spend more money.
yeah, I don't spend a lot of money at Legoland though. There's not much to buy.
What about Legos?
Yeah, but I can go to the Lego store at Disney Springs and get Legos.
That's true, and why wouldn't you? Is the Lego store at Legoland significantly better than the one at Disney Springs?
No, because it's not really a Lego store. It's more of a Legos plus a whole bunch of other Lego memorabilia and merchandise for Legoland. So it's a big store.
Oh, okay.
But
It's like the Emporium.
yeah,
with Legos in it.
Okay, so it's like the Coke store or the M&M store, but for Lego, where it's a bunch of
that's a good way to put it.
Merchandise celebrating the merchandise that they're like famous for, but there's ironically not as much of that merchandise as there is the merchandise advertising it.
Yeah.
So like the M&M store, the M&Ms are just like a tiny corner, but the rest of the store is like shirts, things that you can't eat that all say M&Ms.
I mean, you could eat it. Should you?
Shouldn't though.
Yeah, so I think with a Lego store, I think it's only like you walk in, it's a wall ahead of you, and the wall to your right is Legos, and the rest of it in the middle, and the rest of it's just other memorabilia for Legoland.
Yeah.
If you had to choose between, if we're speaking of Legos, but bringing it back to Universal and Disney, would you pick the Hogwarts Diagon Alley 2 sets, or would you pick just the Disney Castle set?
Disney Castle set.
I would probably still have to go with the Disney Castle set.
Yeah.
I would pick Diagon Alley and Hogwarts.
Our neighbors have all the Universal like Diagon Alley Lego sets all set up, and they're nice, but it's like it doesn't. I think the castle's more. It stands out more, I think.
Yeah, the castle. It has rooms for every princess.
Diagon Alley also has shops.
Oh, it does? Like Lego shops?
Like you turn it backwards on the back side, and it's inside the shops.
I think I still have to go for Castle. I think the other Harry Potter Lego sets are more impressive. Like I just discovered the book sets, and I think those are so cool. Like you open the book and it's a classroom. That's amazing. So I think if I had to pick a line, I would be more inclined to go Harry Potter. But for these sets specifically, like you can't beat like the Disney Castle in general is hard to beat. Like I'll take the Disney Castle over most things, like over pizza. I would take the Disney Castle over like.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Nothing. Give it to somebody else.
Well, it's literally just a Mickey bar, but
yeah, exactly. But without the
Mickey.
a stick.
It's if it's shaped like Mickey, it tastes better.
No.
That is a scientific fact.
Maybe they should put churros in Mickey shape. They might actually taste better.
But what in Mickey shape?
Churros.
Well, I've only had one churro. No, I've had 2 churros in my life. The first one doesn't count because it was not good. The second one, it was, I think, a better representation of what a churro is and could be, and I was pretty impressed.
Churros are my second favorite dessert of all time.
At Disney or just in general? Sorry.
Period. No, they're not that good.
Churros are delicious if they're homemade. I mean, or from scratch made. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic. But Disney churros are that.
Costco has better churros than Disney.
I mean, they're probably the same company
in Canada. So there we go.
Yeah, but you got Timmy Who's. You get some donuts.
That's true. We can.
Cool
and
pastries that they have.
Like I would go as far as to say that Tim Hortons donuts are better than Voodoo donuts.
100%.
Probably. Like I've only had Tim Hortons a couple times because
I've never had Voodoo. I just know Tim Hortons, like the quality isn't great, but it's the legacy. You're eating a legacy when you eat a Tim Hortons donut.
Their coffee is awful though.
Again, it's the legacy.
Tim Hortons is literally the Canadian version of Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, don't you dare! No, Tim Hortons is better.
Tim Hortons is better than Dunkin'.
Yeah,
I don't know. They put a whole bunch in New England, and then like a couple years later, they were all gone.
No, but American Tim Hortons don't count. They're not an accurate representation because it's different ownership and it's different product.
True.
Yeah. Like when I cross the border, I go, well, not anymore, but when I used to cross the border, I would just, as a novelty, go to American Tim Hortons to see how different everything was. And like the branding is the same, but the food, like even the donuts, like the chocolate on top of the donuts is completely different.
All right. So there's another live stream we need to talk about is difference between Canadian restaurants, fast food restaurants chains, and Americans chains.
That's not related to Disney or anything.
Yeah, we're totally squirreled off on that one.
Not to go back to other live streams that we've done, but what did I miss?
Talking about
not much. We talked about Legoland. We were holding on.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Legoland's not great. I mean, it is, but not during COVID. That's my thoughts.
So here's the question: if you had to choose between the Disney Castle set of Legos or the Diagon Alley and Hogwarts Castle set, which one would you pick?
So she added the Hogwarts Castle set this time.
No, I said that before. The Diagon Alley and Hogwarts versus the castle.
I think I would go with the castle because I've wanted that for longer. I want the Hogwarts stuff 100%, Is that a high five or a, oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was like a high five or like a don't look at me.
Well, she's like back there. Like, I'm here.
Your racing seat's in the way.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so that's just my thoughts.
All right, so let's just do. I don't know. Let's just do the one question, the big question though. Like,
no, that's for the end.
I just gotta get out of the way.
Well, I did, as the people on the stream, except for maybe Mike. No, I did a little poll today on the internet.
I participated.
As did I, and I was angered by some of the majority thoughts on some of these things.
So I wanted to do like a little bit of everything. So some food stuff, some themed stuff, some upcoming rides. And so we don't have to do all of these, but I think let's start with the first one here of your drink of choice. Are we going with butterbeer or are we going with LeFou's brew?
All right, let's go.
Well, that's like asking, do you want a filet mignon or like ground beef that's been rubbed in the streets and spat on and then littered with like bird and dog feces? And
then with a little bit of marshmallow syrup on top.
Yes.
I'm not sure which one he's going with though.
I don't know.
I'm assuming it's butterbeer's better.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like either.
I love butterbeer.
It's too sweet.
I think you have to get it as a non-fro. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second.
Saying Florida's too sunny or Disney's too happy.
Yeah. I think LeFou's brew just misses the mark. Like it's just not. It's like apple juice pretending to be something it's not.
Ugh, yes.
That's way too sweet. That is like.
Well, I think they're both too sweet.
Oh, I don't disagree that they're both overly sweet. I think that's just what it is. But I'm a big cream soda fan, so butterbeer just literally hits the spot, especially when it's hot.
Yeah, I'm not.
The temperature, not the drink. We have not tried the hot butterbeer
yet. Yeah, the physical outside temperature.
No, but reportedly, hot tip from like the biggest Harry Potter fan I know, who may or may not be watching right now, and if you are, you know who you are. Apparently, you need to take the hot butter beer and do a half and half with coffee situation, because on its own it's reportedly way too sweet, even comparative to the frozen and the cold, so I can't even imagine how sweet that would be. But if you mix it with the coffee, it's apparently a perfect combo.
That's actually not a bad idea. Cold coffee or obviously with a hot and hot. I wonder if you could do with iced coffee.
Sure you could. How have they not done a butterbeer like cold brew yet?
I don't know. I gotta write this
You
one
can
down.
go to Starbucks, get a cold brew coffee, then walk to Diagon Alley, get a cold butterbeer, split it in half, and go for it.
Yep, I'm kind of with you on that one.
You can even go blonde cold brew. I don't know anything about coffee.
Blonde cold brews, it's like a light roast, so
I know.
It's not strong. It probably would work because it's not as strong. Because I think you can get really dark coffee and like a light soda, it might not work out very well. Because I had last night with the stream we had last night, I had the Coke coffee, which was kind of the same concept. It was like half Coke and half coffee. It wasn't too bad.
So if you're watching this in the comments, let us know butterbeer or LeFou's brew.
Yeah, let's take a poll here with who's watching, butterbeer or LeFou's brew.
Instagram was like 75-25 in favor of butterbeer, which I think is really how it should be. I
agree. Even though I don't like either, I think that if I had to choose one to drink, I would pick butterbeer.
So you don't
know because
she voted. She voted because she has to pick one. She would rather have one than the other, but she would rather not have either.
But she voted for LeFou's brew.
It was my finger that slipped, I guess.
Okay.
Butterbeer is no competition. I'm totally with Luke on that one because it literally is no competition. I had 3 of them the first day we went.
Yep, and Sarah also says butterbeer for the win.
I think the cold one, not the frozen, is actually the better way to go as well.
Interesting.
Tell us your reasoning. That's like the hottest take I've heard. I think you're the first person I've heard that prefers the liquid to the frozen.
Same.
Okay, I'm a legitimate beer drinker. Like I drink real beer, and I want to be able to drink the drink. I don't want to have to like take little sips of it because it's an icy. Like I'm not a big slushy fan. She is.
Yeah, I will say though, when we were there last weekend, we had like a little cup for Josiah, and I was like, oh, I'll just pour a little bit in, and he got mostly foam, which was not cool because the foam is the best part. But then like I kind of mixed his cold with a little bit of my frozen, which I thought in my mind like would taste very, very good because it'd be like
putting ice in your drink.
Yeah, because the issue I have with the cold is that it's not cold enough. Like it just is kind of like room temperature-y, but then like the frozen gives you a head rush. So I was like, oh, mix the two together. But the foam kind of ruined it all.
Yeah, the foam didn't work because it was just on the frozen. It sticks to the top, whereas like if you have the non-frozen, you actually can swirl the cream in, and it kind of adds to the taste of the butterbeer itself.
That was why I liked the frozen so much, because I like I did the swoosh, and then like it felt like since there was a higher density with the frozen, I could appreciate the cream taste more than I could if I diluted it in the liquid.
See, I think the frozen is actually diluted. I think the frozen doesn't taste as strong either. I think with it being frozen, it makes your mouth cold, so your mouth is going to be losing its sensitivity, and then when you all those little ice crystals in there, it's like frozen Coke. It doesn't really taste like it has a slight hint of Coke. They can literally take Coke, and then if you freeze it, it doesn't taste very good. So it's the same concept with not LeFou's brew, with butter.
LeFou's brew.
So for the cinnamon rolls, we can get the cinnamon rolls, I guess.
All day long.
I'll take a cinnamon roll and a butter beer. It'd be perfect.
So the next one, I know we've ridden both of these rides, but you guys haven't ridden the ride at Universal, so we don't have to go into too much talk about it. But Rise of the Resistance versus Hagrid's, which I would say at this
Hagrid's.
Point, you have ridden Hagrid's.
I have. I did. Like I said, it was only one day, but I did everything. I did almost legitimately everything in those two parks in that one day.
So we had no expectations of Hagrid's. I had seen ride-throughs of Rise before we went on, which, whatever. Like, Rise is fantastic. I don't want to give away anything about either ride because there are some not expected moments.
Yeah. So
it's the best way to put it for both rides. But it was pretty much split. It was 47% Rise to 53% Hagrid's.
Is John and Corey from Let's Find Fun? Are you guys watching? Because I just want to say thank you for not telling us anything. It made the ride so much better.
Yeah.
For not telling us what happened.
If Luke is watching, I want to say, darn you for not telling me about Hagrid's, because Luke said you have to go on Hagrid's and you have to ride on the bike part and not the little car part. And I took his word for it. And then as soon as the ride started, I remembered, wait, he likes throw rides and I hate them. So I felt like I was going to die. And I also had as opposed to being safely confined in the nice little bucket. No, I was just like there and I had a tiny little belt on.
You have to hold on. Like you literally have to hold on to the handlebars.
Not to mention the thing that we won't talk about with Hagrid's for spoilers, but when it goes backwards and you're in the dark, that thing, which I was not prepared for, which almost gave me a heart attack.
Good job.
John Booth is in the house.
Good job, Luke. Thank you, John Booth, for not saying anything either.
Yeah, it was great, and the best part was that we had gone with John and Corey and our friends Samantha and Wade's son McAllister, and so when we got to this particular ride, they knew that the best seat was in the bike, and so John and Corey split up, and Corey and I rode together, and John and Mike rode together, so that Mike and I could both ride in the bike, which was very, very nice.
And we were at the back too, which is a little bit, I wouldn't say probably a little bit better because you get to sit in the back and you go faster, but not being in the front, you can't see anything. But it was still fantastic. Yeah, I had so much fun.
But then Rise, on the other hand,
I see.
It's a completely different ride. That's the thing.
I don't think it's a fair comparison. I mean, if you think about the biggest ride versus the biggest ride, I'm never going to give you the answer.
Hagrid's at Night 2 is wicked.
Oh, yeah.
So.
But I don't think they're comparable. I think they offer two totally different experiences that you should experience both experiences. You can't say one's better than the other. If we were saying, is this Tron versus Hagrid's? I'd be like, okay, you have a legitimate.
They're basically the same ride.
They're the same ride vehicle, so you have a comparison now. So I think there's going to be the ability to compare the two once Tron opens. I think Tron's going to be amazing, but
so here's one. If we want to do rides that we've ridden on that are comparable. I've got 2 choices here, and I just want a quick little.
Completely agree.
I just want a quick little just instant reaction. So if we're going with similar style rides, how about the Mummy versus Rock and Roller Coaster? Because I feel like those 2 are kind of comparable.
I have not gone on either because roller coasters scare me.
Okay, great. So then how about this one? This is my favorite to compare now. How about Peter Pan's Flight versus E.T.?
Peter Pan. Peter Pan.
I would still rather go with E.T.
E.T.'s the worst theme park ride of all time.
What?
I'm not ashamed to say that. It is the worst. I hate it so much.
I would give the edge to E.T. over Peter Pan.
Yeah, I'm with you, Matt.
Like, I don't think E.T. is a great ride, but Peter Pan is just so... I'd never understand why it's like a half-day wait to sit on the watch basically a glow-in-the-dark mini golf course.
Do you have a ghost?
It literally just scared the crud out of me. It's my child.
Thought it was the cat.
Like, I think
It scared me.
I feel like Peter Pan, Peter Pan is a ride you go and walk through the queue, and then you're like, okay, I'm good, and then you get out and leave and don't get on the ride because the queue is so much better than the ride.
I'm pretty sure my heart rate just went
so
up.
much.
What?
I hate E.T. so much. And not only do I not like the movie, even though Spielberg is my favorite director, I don't like E.T. the movie. And then when you ride it, you're like, oh, chill, I'm hanging out with E.T. Elliot and I are going to go over the moon. And then once we get over the moon, that's where they leave because when we go to E.T.'s home planet, that is the worst experience. And it's like it takes you out of what you were doing and throws you into something else. And it's just no.
It's so trippy. It's amazing.
Just don't unsubscribe from us, John, because we like E.T.
John.
I like E.T. too. John, go subscribe to me. Teacup for One. This is what I like with E.T. over Pan. Well, there are a couple things. And it's not to say I don't like Pan. I just think Pan is overhyped. And if I had the choice if I was in one park that had both these rides and I had to pick one, I would pick E.T. because I like how the ride vehicle, there's more immersion and there's more levels, which I think is a lot more exciting as a rider than just flying over stuff to fly through stuff and just over and above. Whereas Pan, it's just it's there. It's on the sides. E.T. I felt like I was in it and I was on a bike and that was cool. And then you get to see all the cute little aliens at the end.
I was like, E.T. feels like someone's like, let's create this ride. And they start halfway through, yeah, we'll use E.T. Then they get to the end, they get to the end, they've been drinking, they've been having, hitting a couple, maybe shooting up something, and then it just turns into some trippy acid trip at the end. You're like, what the heck happened? I've heard of the ride, never understood the ride, so I had no expectations.
Doesn't make any sense.
I was sitting next to John, and I'm literally laughing my ass off the whole time. It didn't make any sense at that level. And I got off the ride, and I'm like, what happened?
Right.
Why did this? There's not even any segue to the transition. It just cuts and then begins a new movie again. Someone pieced 2 rides together and then forgot to build it anyways. But I think it's still a superior ride to Peter Pan.
I think you're jaded about Peter Pan.
Peter Pan's there's nothing going on. It's poorly lit. I can only think of one animation scene where Hook is standing on the Croc's mouth. He's going down. There's nothing going on.
Flying over London is cool though. That's the best.
Flying over the area in E.T. is cool.
Yeah, the place over the desert, Chicago, it was so much better. It had so much more detail.
Okay, well,
Peter Pan needs a refurb is what needs to happen, or just needs to be 100%. Pushed over and just disappear.
Oh, the Peter Pan in Shanghai, I think. One of the more recent parks. It looks amazing.
We should go to we should do it as Hook. Just go to the Hook movie with Rob Williams and just do that theme.
Different franchise. No, we don't make different.
So next one, we'll just do this one really quick. Flight of the Hippogriff versus Barnstormer. Hippogriff just barely.
Barnstormer.
No, I
Hippogriff all day.
I like Hippogriff better as well.
Barnstormer all day.
Yeah.
There's a net to hold your legs in. Like, come on, it's not going that fast, guys.
For children.
It's for children.
Yeah. Barnstormer, I don't have a net, so it's more risk, so it's more dangerous to ride on Barnstormer.
That's true. Barnstormer, you get to go through Goofy's like silhouette.
Yeah,
That's so much fun.
Yeah.
And I think my thing with Hippogriff, I did not ride it because in my mind I'll just always see that as a ride that they refurbed and then decided, oh, it's an extra offering in Wizarding World. It's like, no, it's not. That was already there. You just decided it was a Hippogriff ride.
Yeah, they just put a wicker basket around it and called it good.
Exactly.
What was it before?
I can't remember, but it was
John?
It was definitely it was something. It was a ride before Hippogriff.
Huh.
Oh, okay, here's some ET back up for ET. There's a pre-show for ET that explains the ride.
Saw it, didn't
Well,
go.
we didn't get that ET, we didn't get that pre-show, John. We just walk right on.
Well,
I didn't get the John pre-show.
I wrote it obviously pre-COVID, and there was a pre-show. Still don't get it.
Yeah.
I think the pre-show is something like you have to help ET get home.
Okay.
Right here.
Isn't that what Ellie's doing the whole time? Isn't that the premise of the film? Without the alien weirdness?
Hold on, here we go.
Well, if the ride ended the way the movie ended, that would be such a boring ride. It would be like you just watch your companion go away forever and then you just leave.
Here.
You guys are the weirdest people I've ever met.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way again. I'm looking at it backwards. Like, oh, there's this way.
Do it.
Here, I'll go over here.
Okay. What you do is, Matt, we're like totally off topic.
Okay, great. Which are we more excited for? Tron or Velocicoaster?
Tron.
I mean, I'm pumped for Velocicoaster. I have already warned my boss that I might take a day off to go and hang out with John and Corey and go ride it. Because I'd rather go during the week where it will be slightly less busy than a weekend. Not much, but slightly. Okay, great. We're just going to skip over that one. Okay, so I posted this one because it was something I could compare, but now we've got other people like hanging out with us. I put Ollivander's Wand Experience versus the Droid Depot, but I kind of want to change it to Ollivander's versus the Lightsaber Experience.
Lightsaber. I've never done it, but when
I haven't done either, so I have no idea. I have no.
So I did do Ollivander's and I got chosen, but like I would still, and I cried. Like the light comes down and the wind blows your hair back. Like when, like it's crazy, like it's so good. But like when I watched, I forget whose vlog it was. I watched someone do the Lightsaber Experience. It almost made me cry. And I don't even like Star Wars that much. Like it was just so like immersive and so like powerful, and with like the words that they were saying and like the script that these cast members have. I was like, this is deep. And I was like, whoa. And it's like so intimate. But at Ollivander's, only one person gets picked and there's 12 people in the room. So like you're just watching this one person have an experience where, you know, at the lightsaber, everyone does it. And you all walk out with a lightsaber versus one person getting randomly chosen, normally a kid, if there's one in the room, and they get chosen. And, you know, you can just go buy one at the end because it dumps you out into Ollivander's, the shop.
Yeah, okay, so you don't even get one while you're in the show.
No. Unless you get chosen, no.
No, but even if you get chosen, you have to pay for it still.
Yep.
What's the cost of a wand, though, on average?
$80.
50, I think, or for the non-magical ones, the ones that are literally just a stick.
Oh, the magical, the interactive ones are like 70, 80 bucks, I think.
Yeah.
So still like half the price of
a lightsaber. But you think about the size of what you're getting, like the lightsaber versus.
I do like the idea of the interactivity of the wand, though, especially watching some people do it. So I think it's something that we'll eventually do, especially because it is
I like to do it.
Significantly cheaper than a lightsaber, but that's also eventually on our list.
No, I think the wands are only worthwhile for locals and for annual pass holders who can get more than one park day's use out of them. because like if I could frequent Wizarding World, it would be no question, and I would have probably like 2 wands by now, and then I would just always be there doing like swish and flick and all that fun stuff. But if you're just there from like out of state, out of country, and you have less than a week in Universal, I don't think a wand is as valuable as, say, a lightsaber, because once you get it home, it's just a stick. And as opposed to a stick that you can do stuff with. Whereas the lightsaber, again, also just a stick.
Just a stick.
A cool glowing stick. And the biggest difference is that what I love with the lightsabers and Droid Depot is that it's a fully customizable experience. So like you are piecing together every component and creating something that's probably 100% unique to your like unit, basically. So I like for myself, I think that's more fun because you get to leave with a thing that nobody else has. Like no one else has my exact droid with his cute little bow tie and the sticker configuration. Like they're all unique and identical. Look at that little guy. But then I think the trade-off there is that you have to pay so much money to have the experience of either droid or lightsaber. Whereas Ollivanders, you can just go and watch the show component without the obligation of buying anything. So like that's nice too.
And kind of on that topic, the next one that I put up there was Diagon Alley versus Batu. So really just kind of very high level here, guys, because we're gonna do a whole thing about this. But Wizarding World versus Galaxy's Edge.
Wizarding World.
I agree.
Now, I don't want to go too deep because I think. I still think we should do a separate stream that's just on this exact topic where we can dive into the nitty gritty. But my overall opinion of this issue is that 2 of them are on par, and then it comes down to personal preference for what kind of experience you want to have. For me, I prefer Batu because I think Batu. I think the production design of Diagon Alley is far superior. Like if I were just to go into the empty parks, both of them, I would enjoy Diagon Alley a lot more, but the immersion is a lot better in Galaxy's Edge. And like I'm somebody who wants people performing for me at all times. So like my favorite thing with Batu is that like every single person is just so committed to the fact that you're on another planet. Like I started to piece together this weird subplot where all the PhotoPass photographers in Batu were secretly pod racers, which was amazing. Like just talking to different PhotoPass people over the course of 2 days, they were all talking about their underground pod racing ring, and I thought that was amazing, and that just made me so happy. Whereas like you go to Wizarding World, and a lot of them aren't even trying to be British. I mean, I don't think they're allowed to try to be British or to put on fake accents, but it affects the immersion.
I think it's a fair point, but that's we can go farther down on that one. But
to that point, when I purchased something for the first time, when Diagon Alley opened, the year after it opened, that's when I was there. Oh my.
What?
You have a comment.
Yeah, I'm not clicking on
it. I have to find it. What'd they say?
Anyways, when I purchased, so I was with a friend, and she said, she said to the guy at the register, she was like, do you like are you a big fan of Harry Potter? Like, do you really like the movies? And so the guy that was checking us out, like the team member, he went, oh, you mean the documentary films about the or Harry Potter? Like they like were totally in it. And like he was like, yeah, this is like, so what I experienced was just like what I experienced on Batu, with the cast members being 100% in. Like this is a situation.
They've slacked.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And that could be that because of what's going on or what's progressed with their availability of staff members, that they may have something that they had to dwindle down on their immersion for their people in the.
Well, Matt went before COVID.
Yeah, but it could have been waning down for a while now. Like they could have just.
Yeah, that was a big topic of conversation.
The easiest way for me to put it on a high level is like, I have Batu, but then I have Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade with something that connects us. So I literally have 2 full, actually 3 if you put the train in there. That's a 3rd immersion point of the movies. So you get 3 immersion points of the movie in one technically 2 parks. So you get them in 2 parks, whereas I got Batu, which never actually existed in Star Wars until they added it in as Batu into canon. So
my quick, as I had told you the other day, my quick little like one-liner here is that I'm more likely to just go and grab a butterbeer and just hang out in Diagon Alley for a couple hours and just people watch than I would be to go and grab a blue milk and hang out and well, I can't have the colored milks anyway.
See, I would do both though.
Well, I would still do both. Like,
wait, why can't you have them? Aren't they dairy free?
They're coconut.
Milk. She loves milk coconut. I agree with that because I think don't make noises, you weirdo.
Do you like Harry Potter?
Harry Potter or Star Wars? Which one's better?
Which one's better?
Such a loaded question, Michael.
I know.
Yeah, but which one do you like?
You have the
more?
same amount of movies, right?
Harry Potter or Star Wars?
Like you think about the
Nope. Harry Potter.
Oh,
Has
you're
one.
9. That's right. No. Yeah.
And Harry Potter also has
Hot take.
Technically 2 less because the last 2 are the same.
10.
Harry Potter and Star Wars are both scary, according to the little one.
That's true.
Valid.
Try going to a Sarlacc pit. That's scary.
A what now?
Sarlacc pit?
Whoa, Nate. What's up, Nate?
Nate, what's going on?
Who's Nate? Hi, Nate.
Nate from Paging Mr. Morrow.
What's up?
Hey, Nate,
Yeah.
really funny story.
Isn't that called going rogue when they mix them together?
That's amazing.
Funny story about Nate. We ran into him when we were in the parks in July, and I had no idea it was him. And I told him I really liked his shirt when the parks first opened. And then, like, a couple weeks later, saw a video where he was wearing that shirt in Magic Kingdom. I'm like, yep, totally met him. Had no clue it was him.
He's got some great shirts and some great hats. He's a classy man.
Correct. All right. Well, since we're gonna try and keep that part to a minimum here, let's go to the next one. We kind of already talked about donuts, so we're gonna skip over donuts.
No, don't do it.
Okay, fine. Voodoo versus Everglazed.
Everglazed.
I haven't had either, but what is Everglazed? I don't even really know much about it. People just started posting about it.
It's a local donut shop, like a Florida thing.
It's
like
more so. It's same. I would say same style of same style of donuts, but I would say it's more on the candy route versus just weird stuff on your candy. I would say more like candy and cereals on your donuts versus the weird stuff that Voodoo Donuts does. I think a lot of Voodoo Donuts are actually square as well. They actually still do the circular donuts.
But are they both cake donuts?
No, they're both yeast raisin donuts. And so the cool part about Everglades, when you're waiting in line, they actually have a team. They have a full kitchen out back that actually is all glass, and you actually can watch them make the donuts. They actually come in, they cut them, they fry them. There's a machine that flips them. It comes out, and then it goes into the glazing
like
bag. What?
Or like Tiny Toms.
But they're huge. These donuts, they're massive donuts.
They are large.
Matt.
And they have regular sandwiches. They have
Donut
weird
sandwiches.
donut sandwiches, donut drinks. Like you get a iced coffee with a donut on top. And
very Instagrammable.
Very
Check out
Instagrammable.
Everglazed on Instagram, and you'll see some of our photos.
Yeah, they've put a bunch of photos up there. It's cool though. I think their donuts are really good. I tried one of their plain donuts because for me, it's like the qualification for a good donut shop is a plain glazed donut, and their plain glazed donuts are absolutely fantastic. I would literally destroy a box of them. Some of the other stuff is a little too much. Like if you don't like something that's really sweet, it's not worth the really sweet stuff.
But if you like donuts and you like sweet
stuff,
donuts,
you'll love these donuts.
Dun dun dun.
Reviews Disney food.
See, my favorite donut place is a place on the coast here in North Carolina called Brits Donuts. And it's only open April through September. Memorial Day, well, they start on the weekends in April, but then Memorial Day they open all day, and then they close Labor Day weekend. Only one flavor, only cash. Glazed, that's it. And it's in there's cat. And they serve them to you by the dozen in a bag. They all stick together, and they're crunchy, but they melt in your mouth. So like those are my kind of donuts. So like cake donuts are like it threw me off when Everglazed showed off that they were doing a grilled cheese donut.
Yeah,
Okay, it's that place. Gotcha. Yeah. Is that the place where you can get any sandwich with a donut instead of bread?
as a donut, yes.
Yeah.
Your
salty
bread
donut.
is the donut.
That's
Yeah.
disgusting,
John,
but I
I
like
think
that
that-
it's an option.
I think the salty donut is the one that John posted photos of recently, and there was a couple of donuts on there that I was like, yep, gonna need that ASAP.
Yeah, if you want to see cool food videos on Instagram, go to Let's Find Fun and look at their pictures.
Ooh, fun.
They do some really cool stuff.
All right, so next one. I know you guys haven't been back to the park. Well, Mackenzie has. Matt, I know you haven't been back to the parks. I don't know why, Mackenzie, in my mind, you hadn't been back to the parks, even though I've met you in the parks. Cavalcades at Disney versus the 6 feet distanced meet and greets at Universal. Which would you prefer to see?
Cavalcades, because I want cavalcades to stay even
Forever.
Yeah.
Like I want them to be forever.
No.
Forget parades. To be like,
No.
forget parades, because this is like you don't have to wait for anything. You don't have to sit down, waste your day waiting for a parade, and like you don't have to do that. It's just always going to be happening whenever, like when you're in the park and you hear music, just stop where you at, and then something will come. And then you can go about your day when they're done.
And you get several different ones. Like you don't have this. It's not the same thing over and over again. You get 5 or 6 different ones that go through the day.
And it's
Right,
quick,
and, like,
because
it's
then
quick.
you literally, if you're, walking, on your way to Splash Mountain, and then all of a sudden you hear the, come on everybody, get your ears on, and then Amanda does her dance.
Good time.
You wait 5 seconds, you watch it for literally half an hour, for like 30 seconds, and then you keep walking to Splash Mountain. And then when you get off Splash Mountain, there's probably another one going on.
Yeah, I think this is my opinion. They should keep the cavalcades, and then they should have
A nighttime
one
parade.
nighttime parade.
Give me nighttime parades, please.
Just
Okay,
one. Just do one
I would-
nighttime parade a night.
I would sign that petition. Yes.
Because I think that it keeps people from blocking all the moving during the day, and then at night everybody's getting ready to go anyways. You might as well just run a parade to bring everybody to the front of the park, and then send everybody home. It's like do a parade, and then do fireworks. Bye, see you later, go home.
The only parade during the day that I would be okay with is Magic Happens from
Magic
Disneyland, because it's the best parade that exists. Like Festival of Fantasy is trash.
Especially compared
But
to
it's
Magic
the
Happens.
Festival of Fantasy.
It's not.
The festive.
No. Magic Happens is a bop. It's a jam, and the floats are gorgeous.
Oh well, Magic Happens lasted like 5 minutes. So
I'm not a
It's not
parade.
over. It's coming back.
we're still in the honeymoon phase of Magic Happens. Festival of Fantasy, that's like a committed relationship that hasn't steered us wrong at all.
You have to work
Maybe
on
get
it.
divorced.
Away we go,
Should
yo ho!
I don't know. I just think parades. The only part of the parades I like are the nighttime parades because you have a lot of the pretty colors because that's my brain can handle. The rest of it, I don't remember the music. I just remember the nice flashing lights and the cool characters. And
I love a parade. Parades are so much fun. But again, I haven't seen them, so I don't know for sure. But based on the videos, it's not so much that I like the socially distanced meet and greets, but I like the socially distanced characters existing, like the mini flash mobs that I've seen. And actually, I think this is more of a Disney thing than a Universal thing. But like I saw a video of Chip and Dale setting up a picnic and eating a giant acorn, which I thought was the cutest thing in the world.
So cute. So
And
like
Disneyland
has a
reopening,
social
there's like Max Goof fishing somewhere in California Adventure. So like the stuff like that, where you just get to see them existing magically, and like they have their 10 or 15 minutes of just business that you can watch. I think that's the most magical thing. Like that's what I would want to carry over into post-pandemic times when we're still able to have like meet and greets again. I want to also just be surprised by seeing a Disney character existing in their element in the park and having a picnic.
Corey's
Sorry,
in love
Corey.
with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I will watch it with you, Corey, but
I don't follow the parades.
I prefer Magic Happens.
I like the cavalcades. I think it's cool because it's a quick hit and you can see the characters and then you can go about your day and keep going, where it doesn't have to block 45 minutes of your day trying to get to the other side of the park. But I like the 6 feet thing too. At Universal is kind of cool because there's a lot more characters. I feel there's a lot of characters out that are doing different things, and Universal has a whole range of IP.
Mm-hmm.
So like I got to see Optimus Prime, which was awesome.
Well, here's a question.
And I saw
Ooh, I am curious as well.
Swarm the characters or swarm the cavalcades?
So if the swarm, all the characters are, if in Universal, all the characters are behind barricades. With Optimus Prime, you could go up and get a picture with him, but like he had his little barricade, and you walk. There's a little side walkway you can walk, and that was barricaded off. And you walk, and there's a big red dot like 6 feet in front of him that you stood on, and then they took a picture. The cast member took a picture of you, or your family member took a picture of you. But the cool part about that they did, that I thought was cool at Transformers, is that if you were pushing up against a fence, they were making every party stand 6 feet from each other, even if you were just watching. They're like Optimus Prime will have to go back to his planet if you guys do not make space for each other.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about the characters kind of like living like Chip and Dale. So the only one that I've seen is in Epcot. We've seen Winnie the Pooh and Joy kind of over in between Soren and Figment in the grass area over there, and nobody notices that they're there.
Well, I actually watched Joy, where Joy was like running and skipping through the grass, like she was just having fun playing, like she just like.
Oh, I love that.
Like,
catching
butterfly net. She's like running through the.
Yeah.
She was just running around being joy, and she's being joyful.
Winnie the Pooh with the butterfly net.
Yeah, like that's cute. But like as far as swarming goes, like they're in a place that guests can't get to.
Yeah, they're usually
like,
in the grassy sections where you can't get to them.
Yeah,
right.
There's enough space, I think, that you can, at least in that spot in Epcot, because that's the only place that I've seen the characters out like that. There's enough space where you can watch them, where it doesn't feel like you're being like crowded in. Whereas like the cavalcades, when they come through, especially in Epcot, because it's around World Showcase, there isn't a lot of social distancing happening because everybody is already kind of crowded in Epcot anyway, which if you haven't watched our video about 35% capacity, go watch it and it'll explain why Epcot still feels very crowded.
But yeah,
helping Epcot.
And then you have the boats at Animal Kingdom as well, that they have characters on boats that drive around, which are really cool to see too.
Pro tip: go to where Rivers of Lights are and go and hang out there, because all the boats go there, and you can take a seat, relax, eat some ice cream, and not be swarmed by people. I'm gonna go see what my kid's yelling about.
So like where Chip and Dale were at Hollywood Studios, that is the grassy area, the fenced off landscape area between Hollywood Brown Derby and where Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, like where it splits off and goes to the side of Hollywood Studios. And there's that grassy area on both sides where they put like the Christmas sculptures and things like that. So like it's not like it's not 6 feet social, like they stand in line to get a picture with them. I'm just trying to answer Sarah's question.
Go ahead.
And like it's not a meet and greet situation where everyone stands in line, you stand at a dot, you take a picture. Like you're basically looking at wildlife in a way, is how they have like they have to pose this. Like you can wave, they'll wave back, but like they're living their life and you're just observing them being Chip and Dale.
Like seeing them in a zoo, basically.
Yeah. So like at Universal and at Mary Poppins is out too at Epcot sometimes, and you can like talk to her and take a picture with her, but it's like obviously it's way farther than 6 feet. But like at Universal, they're just standing there waiting for someone to take a picture with them.
Yeah.
And like the cavalcades at Animal Kingdom, I think are the best cavalcades because like you can see them from anywhere in the park basically if you are near water. You hear it, the music is great, the characters are way like places you don't like, people you don't see at other parks. And like you can see them when you're in line for Pandora, like because it goes all the way down to, or Flight of Passage, it goes all the way down to Africa, and it goes under that bridge right there, and you get a show while you're waiting in line. Like I think they should stay forever, the cavalcades. Like I'm a big cavalcade person.
No, I agree with you. I'm completely on board, and I think that's what they should do because again, like we were saying, it keeps everything moving. You don't have to stop and wait for 45 minutes for something to happen. So it's just kind of weird. I just found a video of the boats at Animal Kingdom. I was trying to find a video, if I had a video of any of the characters out in the wild.
Chip and Dale having a picnic.
Yeah, I haven't seen Chip and Dale. I've only seen really Joy and Winnie the Pooh. We've seen Mary at Epcot where she kind of stands in the garden. And they actually have one of the walkways blocked off, like a little walkway across from the teacups. And they have that blocked out, so you can't go in there. You had to go into the other side to see here, and they loop you. You have to keep walking in one direction, which is kind of nice. So it kind of keeps you a little separated.
Yeah. I think that even if they bring parades back, like a nighttime parade or like even a day parade, they need to continue with cavalcades, because I think less people would also wait for the parade if they've already seen so and so or so and so, and it won't be as crowded. But also, like, when you are like, you have to, obviously it's a lot of timing issue because Mickey can't be out at the same time he's meeting and greeting. So like, because he can't be in two places at once. So like he can't be in the cavalcade when he's meeting and greeting at Town Square. So it's like a lot of timing and a lot of different Mickeys like getting like a lot of Mickey transports himself.
He has a really good stage manager that manages his time all day.
Yeah, true.
Oh, you're clever.
He used to be really quickly in a lot of different places in a lot of different outfits, quick changes. Like, it's a whole thing.
I mean, if Santa Claus can do it, why can't Mickey?
But Santa
Claus can't do it.
Wait, Santa's not.
No, those are helpers. Those are elves. Those are decoys. It's like how political figures have, they're decoys. That's the same thing with Santa. But Mickey, there's only one
like
Mickey.
Political figures being lizard people, and it's like the same thing.
Exactly. That's a whole separate thing. Are we talking about that now?
No. Oh, that'll be funny.
Amanda's here.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Back again. Do. But yeah, once parades are able to come back, I'll be more interested to see if cavalcades replace Move It, Shake It, Mouse Could Dance It. Because
They
I think
still have that.
Do they still have that?
Yeah, it's just faster.
Oh, interesting. Because I feel like that sort of was the placeholder for like what you're proposing about having some kind of streetmosphere entertainment throughout the day that's not like the main attraction.
They don't stop anymore. They just
go.
They just keep like they're playing the "Come on, everybody, get your ears." They're like playing that as they're just rolling down the street, and they don't stop. They're in the same outfits, like it's all the whole thing. But they don't stop at the hub and like have a party.
Yes, Rich, Figment is still there.
Is the
Figment
purple
will never leave.
as
He should never leave.
He should never leave.
He needs an update, but I think he should never leave. He's part of Epcot.
He is Epcot.
He is Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
He's the mayor. We have that one over there.
Oh yeah, I've got 2 Figment Funkos. They're right over there.
But like at Universal, they're kind of doing the same thing. Like I went and watched Fiona and then Donkey, who's like a puppet behind a little barn door. He actually is an interactive, like someone's actually making his voice.
Like Turtle Taco Crush.
Yeah, he's actually interacting with you. He's absolutely hysterical.
He literally was like, I had my sun umbrella out, and he was like, see, these people don't know in Florida, you need an umbrella for more than just the rain.
Yeah, he was going off, and he just
great.
talking about Shrek farting and stuff like that. It was amazing.
Funny.
And Fiona farting and stuff like that too.
By the way, John, if you're still watching, Shrek is not on
Shrek
Netflix.
Is love.
It is only on Netflix in the UK.
He needs a movie. Figment. I don't know. I don't know if I want Figment to have a movie. I think he just needs to stay in Epcot.
No, I would be on board with the Figment movie because there's a Figment comic that I didn't finish reading, but I like read half of it and it was really good. It's like this fun steampunk era Victorian setting, and it's all about the Dreamfinder creating Figment, and it's about their adventures. It's kind of like Doctor Who, but with Figment and the Dreamfinder.
That would be cool because then it would take something that doesn't exist in the parks anymore and make it relative again.
Yeah.
They should just call it Dreamfinder, but don't say anything about Figment, but just call it Dreamfinder and just have it be.
Yeah, and then Figment's just
there's
there.
like a Baby Yoda style reveal.
I'm texting Josh right now.
Oh, your dad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you know that Josh
Tomorrow's my dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see.
I mean, Bob Barker was Barney Stinson's dad, so there's lots of credibility there.
Yeah, Josh Tomorrow's my dad.
John Lithgow is Barney Stinson's dad.
Yes, but we're talking in the beginning seasons. He thinks Bob Barker's his dad, 'cause that's what his mom told him. It's that guy right there on the TV.
Can't
Josh
stand
D'Amar's like that.
Get him.
That's a family photo.
Beautiful. I feel like I'm the only person who hasn't met Josh.
Do you like print out all those photos, like frame him and put them around your house, like he's part of the family?
I haven't met him either.
Oh no.
I always look for him though when I'm in the parks. Josh D'Amario.
I don't know.
He moved to Los Angeles.
That's.
But he shows up at the parks all the time.
Well, I know.
All right.
Oh, I feel like he's just like Mickey. He's just always there. He's constantly in every park in the world.
His presence is always felt, you know?
So really that kind of brings us, unless you guys can think of anything else that you would like to compare before we get to the big one.
The food.
What?
Food.
I want to compare the food.
I got one thing. I feel like now going to Universal and seeing like the whole New York and San Francisco and London, I feel like the Hollywood studios out of Hollywood studios is so dead to me. Like, get out of here, Hollywood studios. Like it totally blows my mind now that Hollywood studios doesn't feel like it should anymore. It doesn't.
I agree.
I think the immersion, the immersion in those streets there is so good. Like, if you don't see the roller coasters, you're like, I'm in a city just having like a street festival, because they had Mardi Gras going on and they had like little festival stuff going on. I stopped and watched the Blues Brothers and some other lady come out and sing on this little stage, and this little side stage. It was so good. Like, I was like, I don't even think Hollywood studios can hold a candlestick to this anymore. It's.
Oh, agreed. No, like that was my favorite thing, minus Wizarding World, which was obviously its own separate, like, amazing thing. But what I loved with Universal Studios, like the park, separate of Islands of Adventure, was all the the Hollywood, New York stuff, because it reminded me of what Hollywood / MGM Studios at Disney used to be, and what I used to love about that park so much. And it was just bringing life back into that, which was awesome. And I think, thinking about the Blues Brothers show, I think that Universal Entertainment was, and probably kind of still is, formatted better, because I appreciated how they had so many shows, but they were so short that you could watch all of them, and they took up 5 to 10 minutes of your time, but they were all so entertaining. Whereas
Mackenzie likes cavalcades.
A commitment. Oh, the cavalcades don't have the Blues Brothers driving up in a car. That's the other thing I loved about Universal.
They did not drive in a car, unfortunately, when I was there. They just came out.
So many cars.
Yeah.
Marilyn had a car. The Blues Brothers had a car, and they're just casually driving through the theme park. They could hit people. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they have a lot of cars. I'm going to make a video about all the different cars and the makes and models and do some background history on all of them.
How nerdy.
Absolutely. And I'm a car guy.
And also, another fun fact about Universal, they pay you sometimes to take surveys.
Ah.
They pay you?
Yeah, so if you get caught, I don't know, they're not doing this right now, I'm sure. But if you mingle around, you see somebody with a clipboard, not a Disney clipboard, because Disney's not going to pay you to take a survey. So Universal has people sometimes just standing outside the diner, the Mel's Diner, and they have a clipboard, and they'll approach you they're gonna try and sell you something. They want you to come watch a pilot episode of a show that Warner Brothers or somebody is airing soon, and you have you have headphones on, and you have buttons of I like this, I don't like this, that wasn't funny, or you can you're doing this thing, and everyone in the room is watching this 30-minute pilot or 23-minute pilot or whatever, and you're just watching, and then you say oh yeah, that was funny, or I'm not a fan, and then you have to take a quick question A, B, C, whatever at the end. Walk out with $20 cash.
What?
Yeah.
Being part of an actual focus group is built into their entertainment offerings?
Brilliant.
Probably not right now with what's going on, but that'd be really fun.
I spoke to the people with the clipboard. They just asked me how I liked the Mardi Gras parade.
And it was lovely, wasn't it?
All right.
It was okay. It was worth seeing once. I should have spent that hour just back in Wizarding World. Actually, no, in Simpsons Land. That was my I ran out of time for things to do because, again, only one day. I got to see nothing of Simpsons Land, which, looking back, is my biggest regret, because it looked like
it's cool to walk through, but it wasn't worth. It's cool, but I didn't want to stop.
I wanted the donut.
It felt like a cone. It felt like a really awkward carnival.
Here's my petition to turn it into the Wharf from Bob's Burgers.
Yes, please.
No, Simpsons.
Get out.
I
think Simpsons is still a bigger show, though. I think it carries a lot more weight still than Bob's Burgers, as much as I love Bob's Burgers.
Yeah,
I wanted to go to Moe's Tavern.
We have a question. Who is everyone's favorite character or princess? Thank you.
To meet in the parks or ever?
I'm going to say
general.
I would say ever. I'm going to say general. Between both. Okay, let's do your favorite Disney and your favorite Universal. Character in the parks.
Okay.
Oh,
like not necessarily one that you, but like that goes along with. So Matt could pick somebody from The Simpsons. It doesn't have to necessarily be like Homer that you can meet in the park.
Someone who's represented by an IP or something in the parks.
Is the second. I'm gonna go get him.
Is it a cat?
Yeah.
Probably.
He just brings in a beloved like
Lucifer.
I don't. That's hard. In Universal, I think I really I like the Optimus Prime situation.
Oh god, it was so good.
Him and Bumblebee, like that's cool.
I didn't see Bumblebee, but I saw Optimus, and I was like,
So they like interchange, and I like that in Universal, and I like the shows in Wizarding World, like the quickie like stage things, like real quick with the kids from other schools or whatever. I'm blanking on what that's called.
The Tri-Wizard Tournament.
Yeah, when they do like the singing and all that stuff there. But as far as characters, I would say Universal, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Disney in the park.
Well, it could be any character, but as long as they're represented in the park.
Yeah, that's hard.
Disney's hard. I mean, they're both hard for me because I'm trying to think of. I didn't get to see everything because we wanted to go to the Marvel section this last time.
Yeah, but we just walked through it.
Yeah, so I didn't really get to
That's
see
like
anything.
comic Marvel, like 70s, 80s, early 90s Marvel. Very old school.
It's like the Great Value Marvel now.
Very
the Walmart version.
yeah, it is.
Well, we could do.
I like the Spider-Man ride.
We could do a whole thing about how
Spider-Man ride. It broke down when I wrote it. I was so sad. Like, I fully saw the ride malfunction. It ruined the magic of the ride. Like, I could only imagine what it was going to be like because
It's just Transformers, but Spider-Man.
Oh, but I haven't been on Transformers.
we haven't done on Transformers or Spider-Man yet.
Again, I only had one day. It's mostly Harry Potter with a little bit of everything else. But like the ride vehicle just kept stopping sporadically, and then we thought the ride was working. Then it like moved us in front of a screen. Then the movie froze. And we just started hearing things. I was like, you're ruining the illusion. Then at the end, they gave me a free like universal version of Fast Pass, Express Pass.
Yeah.
They gave me a free Express Pass, which I did not use. But so anyway, my favorite character to meet in the Universal parks, right here.
Oh my gosh, no, get out. The thing gives me nightmares.
I love him.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
3.5,
2,
1 3/4.
Yes.
Hold on.
Perfect.
I love him. Like,
You send me a photo of that.
it was such a time for me because I wanted to buy everything but couldn't justify buying very much. And then all of a sudden I saw him and thought, this is it.
That's the one.
Wizarding World souvenir. And I also got like the Ravenclaw beer stein because that was gorgeous and I just wanted that. But yeah, him. And because he's the only actual Harry Potter character represented in the parks that you can meet, which I liked. I would prefer Wizarding World be the way it is to having really not great face actors trying to be Harry, Ron, and Hermione, because that would just be awkward and cringy. I bought him in what's it called? In Nocturne Alley. And what's the store? What's the scary dark magic store?
I can see it, but I don't know what it's
The
called.
one store, the creepy.
Borgins and is
Borgins and Burke.
it Borgins and Burke?
Borgins.
John, where you at?
John boy.
Oh no, Sarah will know. Sarah or Luke will know. But yeah, I bought him there. He was just like on the side of the wall and not very people don't really seem to pay attention to these. I didn't even know that these existed as pieces of merch, but for the longest time I had him in my cart, just dangling off the rearview mirror.
So he's a shrunken head.
Mm-hmm.
So let's remove the shrunken head person from Disney. But yeah, the Shrunken Head still exists in
Borgin and Burks.
That's the one. Borgin and Burks.
And,
A lot of people don't even go in Diagon or in Nocturne Alley, period, because they don't know it's there.
So
that just makes it
I got
all the more
lost.
magical. I love
But I
it.
was walking in and everyone stopped, and I'm like, keep walking. And I had transitions lenses, and we're outside in the sun, so I couldn't see anything. So I'm walking, and it's like completely dark, and I can't see anything. Then I turn around, like there's no one around me. I'm standing in this little alley by myself. It was kind of scary for a second.
That's the perfect way to experience it, to discover it on your own.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
I wouldn't have even known it was there had I not been informed prior.
That
Like,
shop
I
in there,
would've
I think that's the coolest shop, Borgin and Burks in
Oh, yeah.
Nocturne Alley.
Yeah, we
Because
went
they
in.
have the cabinet that Draco uses and whatever, and if you like put your ear up to it, you can hear the bird inside of it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like the theming, that's another whole thing, but like Borgin and Burke shop is like top notch.
So good. So, yeah, favorite Universal character. Favorite character to meet at Disney always varies because the friends of the characters depend, like for me, are the biggest difference in a really amazing character meeting versus like a okay one. So just for consistency, Mickey's always a favorite.
Mickey is my favorite.
Can't go wrong with Mickey. But then every trip, I always have like at least one really incredible character interaction with a character that I usually don't care about. Like my last trip, Pluto was the big one for me. He was hilarious. I had my little shoulder porg on my shoulder, and then he tried to eat him. It was amazing. Like he fully took him off my shoulder and like shoved it in his mouth. It was.
We had a good Pluto interaction. Goofy, I think Goofy's my favorite.
We've had better Goofy interactions. Goofy's been very good to Josiah, and Josiah loves him. So
Nice.
And Goofy like literally came one day and like took Josiah's hand and like brought him up front and like did pictures and played with him.
It was cute. I think Goofy's my favorite, and I think Universal. I really like Donkey. I want to see Shrek.
Yeah, I think for a character that I didn't see, Shrek is my favorite character out of the Universal whole universe. I love Shrek. I think it's hilarious. Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
Shrek is love.
Shrek is life. So I guess that really brings us to the final question: Disney or Universal?
Disney.
Disney.
I'm still gonna have to go with Disney. I think overall, what Disney has is a completely immersive like vacation destination, whereas Universal's still like on the side of the highway theme park. Yeah. I mean that in the nicest way possible.
I would have to agree. I mean, it's vacation-wise. I mean, obviously, we've only ever driven to Universal for a day and come back. But like vacation-wise, you can spend a week and a half, 2 weeks at Disney and not do everything. Mm-hmm. Whereas at Universal, I feel like if you were there for 4 days, you would have plenty of time to do everything.
I feel like Universal though, like if you're going to Disney for a long period of time, I highly recommend spending a day or two going to Universal at a minimum.
Yeah, totally. John Boy and the Queen Martha both say Disney. I agree with that 100%. And if you had asked me a year ago, I would have said no. Spend all of your time at Disney. Don't go to Universal. Why would you do that? And now that we've gone, we get it.
And then,
especially
I love Universal. Just for the one day I was there.
Do you think Epic Universal will change that? I think it comes down to it's like you have parks. If you compare park to park, I think Universal and Disney are very comparable when you can what is available to do in the parks and like what they're doing at the parks. But as a whole, like if you're a vacationer and you're staying, if you're staying in the area, it's easier to stay at Disney and it's a better experience to stay at Disney because you have access to the whole entire Disney, all the resorts, Disney Springs, all the parks, including 2 additional water parks that you can go to. Whereas Universal, you sort of have that, but you're right in the city, and so it's like you're still in the city, so you see what's going on in life. You're not able to disconnect completely from.
It's like Disneyland in California, where yes, you could go for a full week's vacation and spend that time, but just like with Universal, you've got City Walk, Universal, and Islands right all one spot. That's it. It's the same with Disneyland, where you're right in the middle of the city, literally right in that square block, and it's Disneyland, California Adventure, and Disney Springs, Downtown Disney, whatever.
Yeah, and I like that about Disneyland, and that's the same thing I like about Universal. Like if you're going there for a day, it's a great way to knock out, go do a bunch of stuff all in one day. You don't have to do a lot of travel. So I kind of like that aspect of Universal, is that you can walk into Universal Studios, or you can walk into Islands of Adventure. You have, their version of Disney Springs, and there's still a lot to do there. But if you're staying on property, I don't feel like it's the same experience.
But I think with Epic Universe, like that's going to be, it has the potential to be a big game changer, because at this point the theme park standards are so high now.
Yeah.
And Disney hasn't built a new park since Animal Kingdom, like 22-ish years ago. So like
it'll be 23 next week.
Is it 22 next week? There you go. So yeah, like this is the first major new theme park being built from the ground up in Universal. So, or I mean, in Florida. So
and it's gonna have Mario, which I'm pumped.
It's gonna have, and like I imagine that they're going to just go full out, and the entire park will be at the level of that 2 and Wizarding World between like called Mario. But also I'm so excited because we're going to have Fantastic Beasts era Wizarding World, and Fantastic Beasts is the best thing to happen to the Harry Potter franchise. So to be able to like immerse myself in that, I can't wait.
And I think that too with Epic Universe, that's going to bring in a whole different crowd of people, because I think, and we've had the same thought too, of Universal is known for Hulk, Rip Ride Rocket, these bigger rides. At least that was my perception of Universal, was it's all big rides. It's not for kids. It's for, teenagers, adults, etc. Where it's not, because Josiah has gone and has loved it, and there was things for him to do. I can see as like an infant it not being for kids, but I digress. Epic Universe is going to pull families in with these IPs, if they're what they look like they're going to be, with Mario, with How to Train Your Dragon.
It's going to be awesome too.
Those things are going to, even if it's not kid rides, kind of like how Toy Story Land, Slinky Dog is a 38-inch coaster, so it's not all aimed at little kids, but the theming is. So, and Sarah just can't.
That was because I said Fantastic Beasts is the best thing to happen to Wizarding World.
Is it just because of Eddie Redmayne or what?
I was mostly saying that to get under Luke's skin, if he's still watching, because he hates Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Like obviously nothing's going to beat Harry Potter, but I really like original Harry Potter. But I really love the concept of what I love the concept. Yeah, I love that it's a period piece in the Wizarding World. So like aesthetically, I just love watching those movies. I like, if we're just talking about the movies, I like that it's giving us more insight into the international world of Wizarding, which is exciting. And then seriously speaking, to actually bring it into a theme park, I think there's a lot of fun potential there just to give us 1920s Wizarding World. And I think that would be a lot of fun. I can go dressed up as like a flapper. It'll be great.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
Please.
T-flap for one.
Okay, nope, absolutely not on this channel. Well, with that, look at that. We did really well at being around an hour this time.
Nice.
In past times, we say, hey, let's go an hour, and 2.5 hours later, here we are. So basically, the conclusion we've come to is, when it comes to details, we like Universal, but overall, we like Disney. That's kind of what I've gotten from this hour.
I like Disney's details because they're more thoughtful.
They're more intentional.
Like everything at Disney has a purpose and a meaning. Like the windows on every street.
Yes.
Look at the
like,
trash cans. They intentionally theme their trash cans per location. Like it's
amazing.
Another thing that, like, just to point this out, based off of literal trash, like in Animal Kingdom, in the Africa section, there are bottle caps hanging like everywhere, and that is trash. But in Africa, they make a lot of things, especially South Africa and like lower Africa. They make a lot of things out of bottle caps because that's what they find.
Yeah.
So like a lot of their crafts are made that way. And like the jugs, the water jugs that are just like places, like those are so intentional. And like Joe Rohde told me personally that that's exactly what that meant. That's not a joke. He did. He commented on my Instagram photo.
That's awesome. Like that's good.
I'm
Like,
Bernie Nixon.
I just like your whole pretentious like, and that's what Joe Rohde told
Joe
me.
Rohde
Bring
has
it all.
Listen, she's met Josh.
Josh is my dad, and Joe Rohde's my godfather.
So basically, Uncle Joe.
enough, you can't refuse.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
Yeah. The earring.
The lobe.
The lobe.
Yes.
The lobe.
I'd be so
Well-
scared of getting it caught on things.
Yeah, it just. Can you imagine him riding Everest and that thing just?
Oh,
He probably has to tape it down.
it just
Going,
gets lost
going
in
backwards,
the
looking in the face.
Bless him. He'll get Botox one day and take that out.
Probably.
We'll see.
But guys, it has been fantastic as always, hanging out with you and chatting about Disney and Universal this time. We never know what the next live stream is going to bring because these things just. The whole reason we are doing these live streams, for those of you that are still hanging out with us and that don't know, is because we had a little group chat going and we were like, we should just bring this group chat to life so that other people
We
can
can just
laugh.
take what we say to public.
Like, we say funny things, we talk about cool things, let's bring it to the public. And so it's been a blast. And even if nobody watched this, it would still be a blast because I get to hang out with my friends from literally across the world.
Oh, you.
Over the border.
Over the border. So I guess with that, Matt, why don't you let everybody know what's going on your channel in the coming days, weeks, and months? Because I know that you have some things going on in the next days, weeks, and months.
It's true. So over at Teacup For One, right now we're doing the Great Movie Ride Marathon, which...
Wow.
Thank you, Luke. Always a pleasure.
Luke and I are best friends.
Is that a Tim Hortons reference?
Oh,
No, it was a Little Foods Brew reference.
yes, that's the one.
It's the Foosproo reference.
No, it's a
Sorry.
Lord of the Rings reference. He wants me to eat all of J.R.R. Tolkien's collected works.
Oh.
Anyway, so
Anyway,
right now
Matt,
we're in the Great Movie Ride Marathon, where every week watching a different movie represented in the Great Movie Ride, and then Wednesday is the upload day. So I'm going to be uploading some movie, like some video inspired by whatever the movie of that week is, and then some incredible channels are coming along for the ride, including the Hide to Disney, super exciting, and Lauren from Castles, Capes, and Clones is doing most of them as well. So that's like the core foundation of the project. And then in addition to the videos, we're going to be coming together every Wednesday just for a live stream book club style chat about what we thought about the movies. We had the first one yesterday about Singing in the Rain, and I had fun. I think other people did too. Delightful. So next week's movie is going to be Mary Poppins, but then it's going to evolve into like The Public Enemy, some westerns, Alien with Sigourney Weaver, where I'm just going to watch with my eyes closed. It'll be great. So that's the main thing on the channel, and then in between that, I'm just going to be uploading some Funko videos and some miscellaneous Disney videos. So I pretty well just do videos when I feel like doing them, unless I have a project to motivate me, like I do now. And that's
no Shakespeare cast right now?
The Shakespeare videos are probably going to resume once Movie Ride is done, because Shakespeare videos take like as much research time and effort as these Movie Ride videos do. And even not really having a full-time job, one of those videos is a full-time job. So Shakespeare will happen. Yes.
Cats?
Oh, and cats. There will be more cats in some way.
You should just merge cats into Shakespeare and write a whole play about Shakespeare with cats.
The movie Cats, how it would look as a Shakespeare play.
Oh, Martha coming in.
Get him, Martha.
Breaking up the light.
And Mackenzie, you also have some exciting things coming up on your channel.
I do. Why?
You should. You're doing exciting things very soon.
Yeah, I'm going to Hawaii in the next few days. And those videos will go on for a long time.
As they should.
As in until July.
Nice.
So that's my content from the next couple weeks until July. Hawaii.
And I'm here for it because we're not going to Hawaii anytime soon. Unless Mike wants to surprise me with a Hawaii trip, I'd be okay with that.
Mike, do it.
Do you know how excited I would be if Mike was like, hey, by the way, pack your bags, we're going to Hawaii tomorrow.
Mike, take the hint.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Hawaii.
No, I'm trying
But
to
it
do
does.
full time doing this and trying to get our channel up and going and getting to that wonderful mark of 1,000 subscribers and watch time. So.
But yeah, so our channel, we've got a lot of random miscellaneous things, and that's just who we are. We're obviously hanging out with Matt over on Teacup For One on his live streams and doing great movie ride stuff.
We have a Monday video coming up Monday. It's pretty much an opinion piece, so definitely tune into for that. It's Mike's opinion.
Op-ed?
Oh.
I would maybe not an op-ed, but more of a
full explanation.
full explanation of things that I may or may not like.
About what?
You'll have to wait and see.
Tune in Monday.
It's the worst.
Oh, no.
And it's not Peter Pan based. So
Oh, I know.
You know it's going to be good. And then next week, I think for Mary Poppins Week, I haven't talked to Mike about this, so surprise to Mike. I think our video is going to be comparing Mary Poppins to the Doctors and her being a Time Lord.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. That's actually
nice.
So
I had another idea, and I was like, Matt made a comment, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I started looking it up, but I don't know if we can get that far, if I can find that math and that information. But
what? Oh.
Yeah. I was literally like, oh, this is great. Is this like a Mythbusters kind of like idea? Like, could this actually be real life? Like, how
Sarah, what is your channel? What am I shouting out? I will shout out anything. I will just shout out your name.
Well, I also will subscribe to Teacup. I will subscribe to you guys.
Luke, subscribe to my channel.
Thanks, Luke. Well, since I'm unsubscribing to Teacup, I'll subscribe to you guys. This is great. This is literally like every day on Matt's Facebook come to life in a live stream, and I love it.
This is why when the lockdown restrictions are raised, Luke is going to guest star on the channel again. Except this time I'm going to edit it so that it's less polite.
Oh, well, that's good. So
yes.
With that, why don't you guys do your little signy offies and
at the same time, got to compete for each other. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
go.
Matt, go ahead.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and that's the Teacup For One. Go away.
And
Sarah, to answer your question, this is my channel name. You can just look that up.
Mackenzie's channel name is her name.
It's my name. That's me
so
on
easy to
YouTube.
remember.
You never
It's
said
right
that. Yeah.
Until next time, be beautiful humans.
And with that, again, make sure you're subscribing to Matt from Teacup For One and Mackenzie from Mackenzie
Taylor.
And thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And
like this video. Thumbs up this video.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that would be
comment,
fantastic.
like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe because we all want to be paid to do this all the time. So please like our videos, and it helps us out a lot. So we will see you.
Top corner.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
She's gonna kick us all out.
I was gonna kick us all out, guys.
Technical difficulties.
I don't know what I'm doing, but guys, have a great rest of your night, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.